Big one. Tonight's episode is dedicated to Jeff Innes. It's episode 30. It's the Terrell Davis episode.
Ooh.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Christmas week. I'm your facilitator for the evening. Name's Mike. Next to me, as always, with that big bald head of his, it's hanging on for dear life, like the playoff chances of Jeff Innes. Case, how are you?
Like my hairline.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Steve, welcome back, buddy. Close to boom. It's going to be you or me doing this live.
Thanks, Mike. Really going the salt and pepper route right now.
I like it. We're all getting older, Steve. There's two certainties in life. Birth and death. Marching towards one of them. And Pete, how are we, buddy?
Wow.
What an opening.
Birth and death.
In order to save this opening, I planned something special for you guys.
Hear it. First off, that wasn't, you guys are acting like that was crazy. The day you're born, you were inching towards death. It's the reality of life, guys. Deal with it.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the 30th episode. Casey looks like crap. DeVito, salt and pepper. Everyone's going to die. Pete.
That is your 30s.
Objective truth number one. Objective truth number two. Objective truth number three. Take it away, Pete.
That is essentially your 30s in a nutshell.
Speaking of.
So I wanted to say something to the entire league, first of all, because I know that you guys know this, but this league is very important to me. Week 15, it wraps a regular season. It's our 23rd year.
Wow.
That is a heck of an accomplishment for everybody in the league, even Christian. So I wanted to take a moment and recognize everybody because this is an important league to me. I don't think we did a good enough job recognizing Casey when he won, because the night that he won, he was driving. But Casey, it's the
We're
third
more concerned
time.
for his safety.
Yeah, I know that's truthfully.
Touche, Steve.
Truthfully, what I thought more than anything. But Casey, it's the third time you've won the league. We were talking on a text message, but not everyone knows this. The touchdown years, 7, 14, and 21. He's won the league. Those intervals. So I think
ready to go on vacation, Pete, for 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. So Brian, I just want you to know that I think you're awesome. I think this entire league is awesome. I'm not the only one who thinks that. Mike, if you want, I can share my screen.
Yeah, do it.
Because we have a special video message. Can you guys hear this?
Milford Fantasy Football League. Joey Harrington here to just say congratulations on 23 years. I mean, seriously, 23. I can't think of many things, anything that I've done for 23 years. Hell, I'm married for 14. I've been, I got nothing. I got nothing that compares with what you guys have put together, right? That says something. That's commitment. That's dedication. That's realizing that every year you're going to get your butt kicked by Brian, but still coming back to play fantasy football with friends. So Brian, look, we know the secret, okay? We both know that by drafting me on your team, there's actually this this cosmic energy that comes to you, which says, hey, I know he didn't have a great NFL career, but hey, you're really nice, Brian, for drafting him to keep this thing going. So we're just going to look out for you. And that's why you keep winning. So, hey, shout out to you for that. Got it covered. I've heard, if you're doing anything for 23 years, right, you got something going. You got a good thing going. So I also heard there's an Entering Milford and Coast Guard baseball team podcast that I need to check out. So if it's anything like your fantasy football league, I'm in. So congratulations on 23 years of football, friends, and fun. And Brian, you're awesome.
Oh my God.
My God,
Pete, what
please.
did you pay for that? That is like the ultimate Christmas gift for Case.
Merry Christmas.
There are now 3 people on this earth that call me Brian. My mother, my wife, and Joey.
Joey, there you go.
The best
Pete,
part
what
is
did you give him? What prompts did you give him? Did he go the whole thing off the cuff?
Yeah, you want to get into it now? Sorry, I just wanted to send it to the entire league.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, so Joey Harrington's available on Cameo. Who knew? And then I basically wrote to him that could he shout out our league? It's the 23rd year that we've been together. The top manager, Brian's a huge fan and drafts him every year. And if you could shout out our podcast, Entering Milford, that would be awesome. And if you could give a special shout out to Coast Guard Baseball, that would be cool too. And so that's why he messed up at the end, but he still got it.
Coast Guard Baseball podcast, Case. There you go.
Wow.
His podcast speaking abilities are right on par with his quarterbacking abilities in the NFL, but still.
So
What did you?
I just sent that to the entire league on the chain too. So we'll
that's
get
awesome.
live. We'll get live stuff as
What did that cost?
$50, one boom.
That's unreal.
Oh,
I gotta
man,
say,
that was awesome.
I don't know who's gonna watch this on YouTube. Joey Harrington, very handsome guy.
Well, everyone just got it. So
He's got a full head of
DeVito,
hair,
why are
Case.
you first?
Wow, that was amazing, Pete.
Pete, that was awesome.
you have that forever, Brian. Him calling you. You have Joey Harrington calling you awesome, and he knows you draft him every year.
And
Yes,
he called you
longest,
Brian.
longest streak. I wish I was wearing his jersey. I almost ran upstairs and got it.
And he called himself not a very great NFL
He
quarterback.
did say that. He did.
He was terrible. He was terrible.
I was texting
I don't
my
think
wife.
I ever
I'm curious what my
started.
wife's gonna say about that. That was Pete. That was something, man.
Oh,
That was
thank you.
epic.
Well, 23
epic.
years, we had to celebrate it in some big way. So there you go. Let's
Wow.
get ready for the playoffs.
I'm gonna send him his jersey in the mail and see if he'll sign it and send it back. Just say, hey, it's Brian from Entering Milford.
It is funny. So he sent it to me. So I paid for it on Saturday. So he sent it on Saturday. And I've had this for like 3 days.
Well, how does it work? He sent it like to you on the site.
Yeah. So you go into the app, I found him, I booked him. They send you, what do you want him to say? You write a message. And then it says he'd get back to you in like 2 to 7 days. And I knew I wanted to do it on tonight's podcast. So
Oh, wow.
I did it on Saturday. All of a sudden, Saturday night, I get it. Joey Harrington has left you a cameo. So I was like, whoa, you go to it. I open it up. He goes off the cuff and does that thing and like has that little mess up at the end. But I was like, whatever, that's hilarious. And I've been sitting on this for like 3 days and I've been unable to tell anybody. I'm like,
I'm sure you tell your wife.
No wonder why Pete
Oh,
wanted this podcast to happen so terribly.
yeah,
tonight.
DeVito's trying to push it like, we're definitely not canceling this podcast.
God, that was
This is
incredible.
happening. This is happening.
Pete, that was incredible.
That was awesome,
Like,
Pete.
Thank
Thank
you. Well, it's better than getting a crushed soda in the mail.
That was incredible.
Twice.
All right, what are we talking about?
All right, well, we're talking about entering the playoffs now. That's the deal. So we've got, I like this. I don't like Tuesday football. It's too much football for me. It's too many things on TV. We got live games happening. So it looks like we've got DeVita and I looks done. Technically, Innes and Lloyd is still up for grabs, though I haven't seen Miles Sanders on the field. Looks like Spates got bounced, even though he was out anyway. Looks like a super tight game between Casey and Breen with a lot on the line in that game. It then looks like the only other thing up for grabs is who booms. Is it me or is it DeVito given the cup again got 2 touchdowns?
Worst
So
trade.
what we would do, Pete, is we would recap the game of the week first, but the game of the week's still going. So I think we have to wait and do it live. Do it live for Case and Breen.
Okay.
So let's go to the second game and get some recap and some thoughts on that game. That was me versus DeVita.
You and DeVita. Okay, where do we stand on that?
That's
Jalen
Jeremy
Rager
Macklin.
making a push.
Is that Rager?
Yep. You're good. You're comfortable.
No,
That's
I'm
a touchdown, Mike. You did score a touchdown.
he didn't start it. I'm good.
It's an uncomfortable
I was
lead.
gonna say,
Great athlete, by the way. Great athlete.
the amazing part about this is if Rager all of a sudden scored 2 touchdowns. Oh man, that'd be fitting.
It's poetic. I'm not gonna lie. I planned up to
Is that
it all
Rager?
the-
No, that's Greg Ward.
Oh, okay.
I planned all the way up to Joey Harrington, so this is this is gonna go. We could say in the Mike, it's an uncomfortable lead for you. Don't forget this would snap a 6-game streak for you over DeVita. A win would be another season sweep because Mike beat Andy 146 to 135 in week 6. The last time Andy beat you, I did look up this. It was in 2016. That was 5 years and 2 months. 29 days ago. You want to hear all the stats?
Wait, what month was it? I had 2 kids. I had just had B, I bet.
It was, well, let's see. It was week
Feel
3.
like it.
It was probably September.
Yeah, I had B. I had 2 kids. All right.
There you go. The number 1 movie in the country was Sully. The number 1 song was Closer by Chainsmokers. I didn't know that song Closer. It was Baby
Come closer. That one.
Rover. Still holds up 5 years later.
We're now on Spotify.
Yeah. You need a win, but a loss and a Breen loss could get you the 4 seed. So we'll see what happens.
It looks like I'm gonna win. So it
Yep.
looked like B, you didn't do the stats of the week.
What do you mean? Oh, you want me to do that? I can do that later.
Remember, he planned up to Joey Harrington.
That's right. I only say that because Thursday night we were doing the pod live. We ended it at halftime.
Yeah.
At halftime, Travis Kelce had like 4 points, and he ended up with 51 points.
Yeah, that is true.
Thankfully-
I can do that real quick. We can talk about the boom
Go.
with you, Mike. You break the tie. The all-time tie.
Maybe.
The beast of the week was Travis Kelce. He was the number 1 player with 51.83 points. That's Andy's first time winning it, and the second time a tight end won it all year. Kittle won it in week 13. The other top 5 were Andrews right behind him, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill again, and Huntley, the quarterback on the Ravens, finished up the top 5. Longest play of the week. You guys want to guess? Travis Kelce.
Kelce had a big one.
69 yards for Andy. Jonathan Taylor had 67 for Jeff, and Tyler
Nice
Boyd
game.
56. He was a free agent. And that's basically where we stand right now. I do know that this is an epically bad week for scoring. This was like an
Awful.
all-time like decade long. They had a stat. Did you guys see that stat about least touchdowns scored on a Sunday since
Yeah,
1994? Yeah. And it was
39.
ridiculous.
So Pete, if we just assume the boom comes in between 150 and 155, or wherever we are right now, is that the lowest boom ever?
The lowest boom ever is 158 by me.
Wow.
Got you.
This is going to be the lowest boom.
Could be the lowest, unless there's a Stafford to Cup touchdown in the next drive. This could be the lowest boom ever.
Oh, well, that's sad. Well, that's nice. At least I'll be out of the record books.
All right. Well, so let's go to the game. I did not enjoy this game. Kelce went off. Thankfully, Hill went off, so I was only down by 10 after the first night. I squeaked it up. I feel good about my team. If you notice, and Steve, you texted me before the game, I made a 12:35, 12:40 decision. I took Devonta Freeman out, and I put Brandon Cooks in. And that won me the game.
That was a
2 in a
great
row
move.
going. 2 in a row going to the playoffs. Tyreek Hill now has COVID. I don't know what the hell is going to happen for next week. It feels like
a lot of Chiefs have COVID apparently.
everyone's going to get COVID. But let's get some thoughts on the game. So, Steve, I'll go to you. You seem to be pretty caught up on it. DeVita had a decent week for DeVita, but he doesn't understand how to play the back of his bench. I had a good week. So what are your thoughts when you saw the game?
Yeah, I think we talked about this, though, last week. I didn't think this was going to be relatively close. I thought you were going to end up winning this game. I just thought that you were deeper than what he had playing this week. And with the question marks between McKissick and Rager, I just didn't like it.
Mean.
Did I miss
Nobody?
something?
Nobody?
What?
Nobody?
No, go ahead. What?
Steve said I was deeper than Andy. Case, what are your thoughts on the game?
Childish, Michael, childish.
The
Oh,
child.
my bench. What are you talking about? I had better bench depth. What are you guys talking about? I was laughing because
You're
you
the
always
one
make that
giggling
joke.
over here.
I was laughing because you always make that joke. Score check, Case. How's your game going?
I'm up 4 points total.
All right.
Yeah, here's like my obscure stats, right? Piggybacking Pete's actual stats. If yep, right. I'll let that slide because of the Joey Harrington thing. Okay, I'll let it slide. If the scores stay how they are right now, this will be the first time all year that we all score under our Yahoo projected scoring for the week. Everybody right now is in the red. Andy was in the green, the last person to fall out of the green into the red because he had such a low projection to start with. But this will be the first week that everybody finishes in the red all season.
In the whole league?
Down week for everybody.
Everyone.
Wow.
This is a rough one. This is all time.
So, Pete, it's looking like in the next 15-ish minutes, you're
Yeah.
going to get the decision of are you playing in week 1 in the first round of the playoffs? Me, or are you playing Case? Innes didn't understand this question when I asked him last week. Do you have a preference? Would you rather play me? Would you rather play Case?
I don't have a preference. I don't want to play Breen. I want to play the best teams. So I want to start there.
Can you play Breen? I don't think you can play.
I don't think I can. So that's one thing that's good. I do think that's just a shame that he's in. But anyway, I guess I'd probably prefer to go against you, Mike. I beat you twice, or no, I beat you once this year, right?
I don't
I
know.
gotta beat you anyway. Casey,
You
I know
beat me. Have we played you? Have we played once or twice? I don't know.
we've at least played once. I know that. Casey, I know I've lost you twice. He reminds me of it constantly. So I guess I'd prefer to play you, Mike, so that way I could spoil Casey's dream in the Super Bowl. Sorry.
Well, that would assume that Casey beats Innes in the first round because that's the only way you get to play me.
That is true. That is true.
Any other thoughts on this game? So DeVita is not even in the consolation bracket. On Thursday night, I'm going to do some analysis before that pod on what outcomes for the consolation bracket you want to have. And is there any correlation between winning the consolation bracket and making the playoffs the following year? Whether or not that's something. So we'll see. DeVita, unfortunately, doesn't even have a chance to do that because he's in 9th place. Very bad year for Andy. We'll get into him when we get into the season recap. A lot of bad luck. But hey, that's fantasy football. We all have bad luck. Second game of the week. Also out of control now because it looks like DeVito was going to put the wallop on the Orange Crush. DeVito's still in the realm for potentially getting the boom. DeVito, I called it, buddy. That's 2 out of 4. 2 more, and you get to have my streak into the postseason. But Pete, give us the recap. DeVito gives you a smackdown.
Well, I was winning when I wrote this, so that changes a lot. So if Steve does win this, that would make him the winner of 3 straight.
He has a 99% chance right now, Pete.
There you go. And it would be a season sweep. He's beat me twice this year.
Join the club.
Steve is throwing out a stack bring back against me with the Rams and Metcalf. So he's using my own super move against me. So I like that, Steve. I'm glad all my guys decided to suck this week, and hopefully we can rebound next week. 30-30, so I can say suck.
Steve.
Mike, the boom just got 1 point away.
Ooh.
What just happened? I think they kicked a field goal.
They did. Metcalf just caught it past.
Gibson just caught a
Oh,
ball.
you have Metcalf too. Oh man. That's just exciting. I like these things going. No, I'm not watching the Rams games. If you want to spoil the Rams game, Steve, spoil away. But this one.
So you don't want me to talk about what just happened in the Washington game?
Well, the Washington one, we're all a minute behind you. Remember, we only talk about this every week.
Case and Breen are now a 3-point game.
We talk about this every week.
Our boom is now 1 point away.
Steve, it feels as though you peaked too late.
No, my season's been I don't want to talk about, I'm not a playoff team. I'm going to say this real quickly. My season has been a series of streaks. We lost 4, we won 4, we lost 4. Now we've won 3 in a row.
It's crazy.
The exact way that this season has gone. So we got a little unlucky early on. Those first 2 games of the year killed me. Lost by a combined. Pete, you have the stats there. I don't have it in front of me.
15 the first 3 weeks.
It's crazy.
Yeah, first 2 weeks, I think I lost by a combined like 5 points. So, yeah, but it is what it is. I like the trajectory of where I'm going for next year, though. I like my potential keeper list. So I'm okay with it.
Steve. Speak too late. Case, I'll ask the same question of you that I just asked to Pete. I feel like you're going to either play. I don't feel like it. You're either going to play Pete or you're going to play Innes. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I'd rather play Pete.
Oh, interesting. Say more about that.
Well, I just feel like Innes' team has been scary the whole time. Like, I've played Pete twice. I beat him twice. I'll be honest. I don't know who I'm going to even be able to play next week. I got guys with COVID. I got guys on injuries. I got guys that can't come back this week. I don't know. I'm like hoping for everybody else to get COVIDed out. So at least it makes my roster feel better. Like this past week was torturous trying to pick guys to play and figure out like who I could add. So, I just want to play Peaks. Why not?
We have an update, Mike.
Did you get the boom?
I'm officially 2 points ahead of you in the boom right now.
Way to go, Steve.
Congratulations.
Yippee.
Way to go, Steve. I didn't deserve the boom, so I don't mind not having it.
Yahoo.
I will say, if I won the boom, I made it clear I was going to donate the $50 to the charity of Case's Choice for his smoke. So.
Oh,
I still fully intend. We talked about this in the the production meeting. I fully intend on donating to a charity. Case and I will negotiate that when he's here at Christmas.
All right.
Milford, that is.
Way to go, guys. So, Steve, congrats on the boom. Congrats on the win. 2 more wins, and you get to end the year on a 5-game win streak, which would, I guess, give good momentum. And we'll see what happens if the winner of the consolation bracket has any correlation next year. Pete, let's go to you and get your thoughts on the game. There's no way you could have predicted that Brady would have been that bad. There's no way you could have predicted Godwin could have gotten hurt. You now don't have Godwin anymore. Give us your thoughts on the game. Obviously didn't go your way. 105 points is not what you want. What are your reactions to that week, and how do you feel about the team going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's my lowest score of the week. I mean, my lowest score of the year. So yeah, it doesn't feel good. I think they just collectively had a pretty bad week. I don't know. I didn't have the team psyched up. We didn't really do any locker room material this week. We just kind of, we rested our starters at halftime. And happy to. I don't want to take anything away from Steve. He's a great coach. Had a great team. Just a couple situations didn't break right for us today.
How about in a week where basically everybody underperforms, nobody knows what's going on, but DeVito's team thrives?
Classic.
This week of all weeks.
Classic.
Fantastic.
So, Pete, I know you said you were out on Lamar.
Yeah.
I would bet he's back next week. Steve, we'll get your reactions to that on the pod on Thursday. I would bet you he's back because he was questionable most of the week this week. You've got Brady going into Carolina. Say what you want about Carolina. The defense is not that bad. And you've got Lamar going into Cincinnati. So I wouldn't call either of those great matchups.
No.
Are you still sticking to where you left off 2 weeks ago and saying Brady's my guy for the rest of the year?
Oh, yeah. Going down with the ship on Brady.
Do you worry about no Godwin and no Evans? Or you think they'll be fine with AB coming back? And no Freeman?
I think there's going to be more Gronkowski, truthfully. So I feel good about that. And AB, yeah, I wish I hadn't traded him away because he's going to definitely start to get painted. But yeah, we'll I still got to see it with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a scary person in the playoffs. And even if he blows up for 40 points, it's going to be hard to trust.
All right. Well, speaking of, go ahead, Steve. You want to go?
No, we didn't take into account Stafford kneeling to win the game.
Oh, you still won though. Wow. Is that the closest boom ever?
1 point.
1 point. Closest boom ever.
Ooh.
And DeVito now owns the lowest boom in league history.
Way to go, Steve. Way to go, buddy. You deserve it, Steve. So speaking of Antonio Brown,
another knee.
Speaking of Antonio Brown, the manager who got him back 1 week too late, Spates couldn't even show up against D'Adarian. Terrible week for CJ. D'Adarian squeaks it by with a huge game on Tuesday night. Let's hear the recap. Spates, Christian Slater. What do you got?
So yeah, Spates gets the win. That's going to make it 3 out of 4 for Spates over Christian. You can get the brooms out because that's another sweep. But I think you can stick a fork in Christian. I mean, there's already a fork in Christian. You can stick one in CJ. With this win, he lost Mixon, he lost Fournette. I don't know if you guys know this, but this will end a streak for CJ. He's made the playoffs 6 out of the last 7 years.
Wow.
That includes 3 straight trips and a Super Bowl loss in 2018. So he's been a pretty much a fixture in the playoffs the last 6 years. So It's a big one. He's out.
Well, you know what? He's got a wife. He's got a couple kids, so maybe he'll be happy to be spending the holidays back at home where he belongs with his family.
Yeah.
Way to go, Spates.
1 year off, Spates. Let the rest.
A good year. Enjoy the Christmas holidays stress-free, CJ. Yes, Brian.
He might be feeling some stress based off his reaction to those text messages earlier too.
He was a little.
He
a little short fused right now.
I meant nothing bad.
For a couple of days from now. So
I think he's still bitter. He hasn't gotten a formal invitation on the podcast yet.
What else does he want?
And that.
What else does he want?
You guys all know that I haven't been on spares all year. I saw this coming weeks ago. So
I'm going to ask a very simple question, and then we're going to move on because there's not a ton to recap on the end of the games that are putting some playoffs line. Who do you think is more excited about their chances next season with their rosters, Spates or D'Adarian? We'll get into this in detail on the year and recap, but just to give a little context on moving forward, who do you think is more excited about their team down the road?
I think Spates does. I think Spates actually has a plan going forward. I think looking at Christian, he kind of sold his best. With Kamara, he had something. He was in position to maybe rebound, but he fell a long way from that championship run last year.
Yeah, he's banking on a lot. Like he's banking on Javante to take over. He's banking on ETN to be a guy. He sold his best player for two guys that like aren't even guys now and may not be next year either. Like it's like a long view rebuild with that move. You know?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Steve?
Yeah, Spates. I'm the same way. I think Christian's really banking on way too many guys that haven't proven a thing.
Weird rebuild.
Can the fantasy cheat code stay healthy at all?
Yeah.
You do know his history though. I mean, guy's been successful with drafting young backs and having guys there. So
a good question. A good question for the yes, Brian.
Well, I had a question was what possible value would anybody fall for McCaffrey right now if CJ wanted to get rid of him for something more reliable with his
he won't
roster coming back?
He won't.
Yeah, but just pod topic. What would you give up for him, Mike?
Let me look at my roster. I don't think I have the guys who he would take because like
he wants Jefferson for McCaffrey from me. I don't think I do.
I wouldn't. So let me just say I wouldn't do it for. I wouldn't do it for Dalvin. I wouldn't do it for Adams. I wouldn't do it for Hill.
My fear with McCaffrey is he's like glass, man.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The health record was
I would do it. I would do it for Tyreek Hill.
He wouldn't do that.
I don't know if I would do that for Tyreek Hill in this league with the way that it goes.
I think you're better off doing a move like Pete did this year, where he grabbed Jefferson for me for Derrick Henry. Now, obviously, Derrick Henry never got hurt before this year.
One cameo. That's all it took. Brian Casey's my new best friend.
I called that like the second part of the season. I said, Pete, dwindled your eyes on that one.
Pete and I are breaking up.
Well, the reason why I didn't love that trade at the time was because you were buying Henry at an all-time high, and the chance of him getting hurt were way higher than Jefferson. But we're rehashing such old.
I do sell high. I didn't know Cooper Kupp was going to double in value when I sold him out.
My point for Spates is like trade him for a guy that has a little like a shorter track record to a team that's trying to win now.
But go an example. Don't be conceptual. Literally.
For the next, well, I don't have another guy. I think I asked a question, Mike.
I know, but I'm saying, but hold on. Don't get defensive, dude. Relax. All I'm saying is, yes, in concept, I agree with you. If you can find the next Justin Jefferson and get draft picks for him, that's a smart deal. You don't have to look at the rosters. Who is the type of player that you would put in the category that's the next Justin Jefferson that could be packaged with picks to get Christian McCaffrey? That's all. My only question. You have to yell at me. I agree with you,
Mike. Nobody yelled. Nobody raised their voice. Stop being over dramatic.
Pete, that's right. That's the good. What if Lloyd said, "I'll give you Jamar Chase and my one this year and Mike's one next year"? Yeah, for Christian McCaffrey.
I would do that.
Yeah, I think you have to do it if you're CJ.
I thought of Chase, but I don't think Dan's in that position.
Dan wouldn't want to do that.
I don't think Dan would.
Why do that? Why?
If I'm Lloyd, I don't do that. But if I'm CJ, I absolutely do that.
Right. Yeah. So this is now interesting then. So who is now the person who you'd put into this bucket that's in there? It's not Devonta Smith. Spates wouldn't do it for Devonta Smith and picks. It's not Waddle. Spates wouldn't do it for Waddle and picks. It's an interesting idea. I think when we get to week 1 next week, guess where Christian McCaffrey is on the big rigs. That's my prediction.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
Speaking of Innis's team, you almost made a good segue over there, Brian. And I think when you listen back to the pod, you'll see how upset you got when I just asked you that. I thought very reasonable question. Innis barely shows up in the last week of the season. Barely beats. Well, you guys told me my mic didn't work that time. Barely beats Lloyd.
Is it close?
13.
13 points and this game's over. Yeah.
And it's looking like barely makes the playoffs. Let's see though. We got a couple minutes left. The Redskins are getting the ball, whatever their name is, getting the ball back. So give us the recap on Innis.
It's the Dirty 30, I guess we can say, the Washington team name.
They're not getting the ball back, by the way.
They might right here.
Okay. So
there's nothing really much to say here. This is the longest active streak in the league, if you guys are wondering. Innis makes it 9 straight. So Jeff needs Casey and Mike. You know what's funny is I think it's funny. Jeff needs you guys he needs Casey and Mike to either both win or both lose.
Huh.
Is that crazy? But if you guys do different things, he's all messed up. So you guys just need to do the same thing in unison.
All
Well,
right.
he needs
Here we
Hurts to
go.
get the 4th and 8th. Yeah.
The spread is 3.07. And the football team has the ball.
Right now, Jeff is holding on by 3 points.
So, Steve, do you want to be the one who narrates if it happens, or do you want to let the rest of the pod keep up? It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Doesn't matter to me, guys. How about I just tell you right now? Can I give you a quick?
I can watch it in your glasses, truthfully.
Gibson isn't in, so it doesn't matter. And
Oh,
they
there
just
you
handed it off to Patterson.
They
And if that
handed
was
it off. Why
Gibson-
would they hand it off to someone? That doesn't
Because
make
the
any
game's
sense.
over. They're done.
Please, I don't think it
What?
matters to you. I'm just when you lose, you're in. You're the 1 seed.
Ball
I know
game.
it doesn't, but just about winning, Mike.
Oh, you don't want
Is-
it. There was a trick. So Jeff had a tough week. Dak does not look right. I don't know what's going on with Dak. And by Dak not looking right, CD doesn't look right. They didn't do anything on offense. I still don't understand how they won the game, but whatever. And Kamara was off. Really, I think for Jeff, tough week, sneaks into the playoffs. If I'm Jeff, I'm feeling pretty good because I can't imagine the guys play that bad the next week.
And it's just texted me.
Hey,
He goes, what a win. Good luck next week. You're going to need it.
We'll get into it on Thursday. I think Jeff's probably feeling good because he snuck in and he probably knows he didn't deserve to win this week and he didn't deserve to make the playoffs. And he got lucky that you squeaked out a win with Breen. But Pete, what are your thoughts? Do you think Ennis feels that way, or he's eyes are forward, I'm going for the win?
So Breen's out.
Breen's out.
yeah, Breen's out.
There you
What
go,
else is
Pete. I knocked him out because he was undeserving by your eyes. I took care of him for you.
There you go. Thank God. So we squashed that cockroach. So now it's going to be Casey against Ennis in the first round, and Mike, me, and you, 1 and 2. So I fall into the 3 seed, the unrepresented 3
Right.
seed. I'll take it.
You're the man of the people, Pete.
This is what I wanted. This is what I needed. I can't wait. Let's talk about seeds. The last 3 seed to win it was, wow, who was a 3 seed that won it? The last 3 seed to win it was DeVito in 2008.
What?
You, DeVito.
The
Yeah.
last 3 seed was 2008?
Yep. The last 3 seed to win it was 2008.
Pete, can you share your screen
Of
with
course.
the updated
Wow.
official playoffs now?
Wow, look at this. So Ennis, Casey. Hold
Just
on.
for you out there, pod fans, we've been trying to delay this pod as long as possible to actually get to this point.
And by pod fans, you mean Joey Harrington.
Oh,
Joey.
yeah. Got to send him the updated rankings.
All right, hold on.
All right. You guys see everything all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is Casey at 1, Kaleli at 2, me at 3, and Ennis at 4. Boom. There you
Would
go.
Look at that.
Did you look at that? So this is
Pete, do
Casey
you know if we've all played each other in the playoffs, or we don't have that level of sophistication?
not like off the top of my head. I have to look it up. It'd take me like a minute, but I could figure it out. We'll do all time playoffs and everything on Thursday if you want to do it. But yeah, look, Ennis's first trip to the playoffs since 2015. Good for you, Jeff, making it last in. This is my first trip since 2019 when I won it. The last time I was a 3 seed, I lost. Who'd I lose to? Ennis in 2009. That's terrible. And then what else? Kaleli in it for 4 straight years. Longest active streak, I think.
I don't think I've made the finals once, though.
No. 3 first round losses in a row. That's 2. And you're the number 2 seed for the 3rd straight year. Good for you.
Oh, that's the bridesmaid.
Casey, the number 1 seed. We talked about the football years, 7, 14, and 21. Back-to-back years, you made it. 4 out of the last 6, you've made it. So good for you.
Oh,
This is the highest seed you've been since 2014, the year you went 14-0.
yeah. What happened that year, Pete?
You got a green square.
So I just looked. I don't know how it does the calculations, but there is predicted scores, not even with our lineups in yet, for next week.
Oh, cool.
Who do you think Yahoo is predicting in the Super Bowl? Case, don't look. I can see you looking at your computer.
Gotta
No, I'm
be-
just looking at the final score.
I don't know. Casey?
Who's the Super Bowl prediction of Yahoo? Based off what I just looked at, it might be different once people put their rosters in.
Kaleli and DeLuca.
Play each other in the first game.
Play each other the first round, Steve.
Oh, you had to the 2-3. I'm sorry, I missed that one. I'm going to say Innis and
We're just
DeLuca.
looking at the seed chart.
Steve, we just
I'm
looked
sorry.
at it.
I completely blank.
Me and Jeff are the predicted winners based off Yahoo. At the moment, we'll see when everybody's rosters go. I'm going to do the DeLuca trick, and I'm going to run out my score in the preview just so we can.
There you go. Just put the highest optimal score you can.
So, Steve, do you have anything to say? This is the last time you'll be on the podcast because winners only the rest of the way.
Vito, do you wish you made a trade earlier on in the year to get to this run that you've been on?
No.
Did it take too long to make that deal with Lloyd?
Steve,
It did take too long.
are you one of those people that are happy that you won $100 even though you spent $200 to get in?
No.
Wasn't it 300? Isn't it 300?
Oh, it's 300.
Steve,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if you're in the Super Bowl next year.
I know. I was gonna say
I
the same
wouldn't be
thing.
shocked.
Most likely to turn you against DeVita. We're gonna go O's and A's.
No way.
Look at DeVita's team.
I will say his bench, dude. He's got a lot of guys that aren't playing.
He knows what he's doing.
All right, so we got playoff set: Innis versus Case, Kaleli versus DeLuca, the Boom brothers. I wish we played in the finals. I was honestly rooting for Breen to win because I wanted to beat Breen in the first round. And I wanted you to beat Case, and I wanted us to play in the Super Bowl, Pete. That was my dream. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll play it this week.
That would have been the best script.
That would have been the best script.
I don't feel good about any of these. So
Brother versus brother, daddy versus son.
Yeah. It's true. Uncle, step uncle. What did I call Breen?
creepy molesting uncle. Creepy
This
molesting.
got really
Breen
weird.
is
Really.
Do we think Breen is watching? Do you want me to call him into the box?
Breen and I are just texting back and forth. So
What'd he say? He didn't deserve. I hope he said I didn't deserve to make the playoffs. It's okay if I lost.
he did. I could read it for you because it was the most Breen text of all time. Thanks, but nothing you can do. Should have played Schultz, but ultimately didn't do enough all year, so can't feel too badly.
Yeah, of course. You made 3 moves the whole season. You didn't deserve to win. Come on, Kevin.
He's got a full fab.
He does. All right.
Spend it when you're gone. I don't get it. Yeah.
Can't spend it when you're gone. All right, so that's the playoffs. Playoffs are set. It was fun to do this live. DeVito, congrats again on the Boom. For Thursday night, it's a Christmas Eve special. So we'll be doing I'm going to do some research on consolation bracket history. So for folks who aren't in the playoffs, they have something to think about and listen to from a historical standpoint. We'll preview the consolation games. Then we'll get into the main event. We'll talk playoffs. Pete will do a little playoff history touch base. You going to do that? We don't.
Yep. I'll look up all that stuff now that we got the matchups.
All right. We'll make our picks, and then we'll get after it.
This is a good one.
We made it, guys.
This is
We
a
made
good podcast. This is 30. This is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Joey.
I can't believe Joey Harrington was on the podcast. Pete, that was excellent.
Special guest.
Do you think he'd come on the pod? Can you find him at his email and get him on the pod?
So here's the thing. So when you book somebody through Cameo, they send you a lot of follow-ups, and one of the follow-ups is upload your guest's reaction to receiving the video. So I'll send him a link to this podcast, and there's a chance he could watch it. So that would be pretty funny.
Gonna have to invite him in for the playoffs.
Did we say anything?
No, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. We're talking a lot about Joey Harrington right now. So Joey, if you want to come on, open invitation, buddy. Imagine if he listened to the podcast, but listened to the whole podcast. Like we're like 45 minutes in. He's like, oh, I love these guys. I'll go on.
This one's gonna take me a second to post because I gotta do when I do the podcast, I'm gonna cut the audio, drop the physical file in.
Oh, nice.
And do it so you can hear it nice and clear. We're gonna have this one to remember.
I would love that. Pete, that was awesome. What way to go. Case, congratulations. Regular season champ. Donated $50 back to the league. Real mensch move. Great to have it around the holiday season of giving. Steve, congratulations. Second Boom of the year. We've made it to the playoffs. We got Case and Jeff. We've got me and Pete. Very poetic. We'll see who writes the final story. Any other points before we sign off so Pete can go do all of his video collaboration or whatever he needs to do?
No.
Not
Good.
Steve?
Sleep easy, Jeff.
Steve, this is your last point of the pod, so we'll let you close it out. What road do you want to go down, bud? People are looking forward to seeing you in the offseason.
I still want injury takes.
Yeah, we'll send him the link.
Yeah. We'll
All we
cameo
count in
you
this
in.
league. All we count in this league are
Cameo you in.
titles. All we count in this league are titles.
I know.
Hey, Steve, we're gonna do Thursday's pod at 11 a.m. just right during the school day.
Wait, is there school Thursday?
Yeah.
Half day?
Oh,
No, full day.
Full day?
oh,
Yep.
why?
Okay, though.
Gaggle.
Joe B Band is playing 12 o'clock on Thursday.
It still does that?
It'll be it's going to be a real productive Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, why don't they just cancel school? Instead, they just have a concert that everyone goes to and just doesn't do any. Like, just cancel school. Let everyone go
Well,
home.
to me, it's like the day before Thanksgiving. We have a full day off. I'd rather have a half day the day before Thanksgiving. At least it counts as a day.
Are they gonna shut down the school again or no? Oh, this is
All right, can I sign off? This is like
the post podcast
this is
thing.
such meandering that we're talking about at the end of the podcast. Joey Harris is definitely not coming on now.
No.
Well, for Joey, for me, for Case, for Steve, for Pete. See you in the playoffs, everyone. Thursday night. Merry Christmas week.